For the final paper, I chose to defend the thesis that the movie Fun with Dick and Jane, which is a comedy movie starring Jim Carrey, provides equipment for living for those that have suffered through financial hardships. So, the first thing I want to talk about is my literature review. So, one of the main important aspects of my literature review was actually defining equipment for living, and so Terrell defines it as in order for something to provide equipment for living, it must present familiar, recognizable themes, but also present enough foreign themes to stimulate new ideas based on what they're saying. So the definition basically explains the essential core of learning a lesson or being able to relate to something personally, especially in the eyes of a viewer. So with its relevance to this paper, determining whether comedic information can also provide equipment for living as opposed to hard news, which would be something maybe like CNN or Fox. The general tone of comedy is more lighthearted, obviously, and more serious. And so that's one of the things that this paper explores. In regards to agenda setting, which is also an important aspect of the literature review, it studies it as an aspect of mass media communication that doesn't tell people what to think, but it influences what they think about. So to compare this with comedy, the comedic portrayal of Sarah Palin by Tina Fey, which is one of the things that's being studied in the literature review, definitely affected the governor's image as a politician. And so in studying that, it was shown that even though viewers understood that this was just a comedic portrayal, it nonetheless carried weight as far as impressions about the governor. So though Saturday Night Live was comedy-based, mass media was still able to be communicated through this kind of comedic tone. And this proves that comedy information does have the potential to be valued just as much as hard information, if not more. And so the last part of the literature review is, can you take comedy seriously? So comedy used in communication is a deliberate part of the author's intentionality. And the reason for this is that comedy itself has clear similarities with ordinary life. The purpose of this is being that comedy constitutes reality by providing irony. So there really isn't comedic humor without some sort of irony that's being provided. In terms of this paper, comedy presents the familiar themes that makes Fun with Dick and Jane able to provide equipment for living. So as far as conclusions go, in relation to the points that I was defending above, Fun with Dick and Jane provides several familiar, recognizable themes, including like financial hardship and job loss, budgeting, and more things like that that are instantly recognizable by viewers. Some of the other more foreign themes are like stock market crashes or financial crimes or big bank account holders, things that most people aren't really able to connect to, but in the terms of providing equipment for living, this gives a farther enough step for them to continue their internal conversations in their head. So the combination of both sides of these themes provides the movie with the ability to provide equipment for living from those that have suffered financially.